What's up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Please subscribe here and please follow me on Instagram at RussoLifts in case something happens to this channel. You can follow, message me, interact with me directly, and there's daily content on there. Hope to see you guys on Instagram. What's up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Here with Andrew, aka Dens with the lens. Off camera, I fucked that up. Oh god, I don't want to get killed by another one of these Pittsburgh drivers. Yeah, day one, the before of the big bulk cycle. Currently on our way to check up on this car I bought. I'm gonna keep the car a mystery so you guys can guess what it is, but yeah, it's had some issues. We're getting the engine built and I'm going to price out what it's gonna be like to forge the internals. So pulling up at PSK Performance right now. And let's go check it out, and then we will start talking about the cycle. Like, Sonys are so dumb. Like, you feel like you hit record, and then it's not recording.
Like, I swear, I heard
Canon, you hit record, and boom, it's red.
Ryan.
Nemo.
Nice to meet you. Come on back. Obviously good. Right. So here's what, as you can see, that's how much carbon's on there. Like I said over the phone, I was like, I'm not gonna find anything. Something I actually just noticed today. Check out this number 2 cylinder. That's detonation. Right. That's from it getting so hot in that cylinder from it running lean that it actually has got a little bit of detonation there. So we took out the valves out of here. I tested the spring pressure on these guys. They're about 17 pounds below what they should be holding, which would make sense for the leak down numbers I saw on that cylinder. So that's number 3 cylinder. We can fix that with just some valve springs and rework the head. Not a big deal. Like I said before, number 1 cylinder is where we're worried about. Now, something that I saw on this assembly on this guy. Flashlight to show you. You see these witness marks? There's one on each corner right here and here. You see how there's carbon buildup around those marks, but right there is missing? That's normally caused by valve float. Where at one point the cylinder got close enough to touch that valve and it actually pushed the valve back in and it broke the carbon off of. And then we can see in the center of the cylinders that nothing's really looking too great in here. But nice thing is, block's good. We have a little bit of wear on the thrust side.
Completely safe.
Block is good. I haven't seen, like, you have some mild scratches, but I checked the bore on all of them. Everything is happy. So block's safe too. Just we don't know where the leak down is coming from this cylinder. Right. We don't know. There's 40% almost total leak down on this cylinder. What we don't know where it's coming from. So I know it's not in the head at this point. So we're gonna have to drop that cylinder down, see. Likely we're gonna find a bad ring. Okay. It's more likely, because the piston itself is okay. There's no damage anywhere on it. You got a little bit of carbon buildup and stuff, but nothing major. So likely we'll find a bad ring. Then we'll just go from there. Your options will be, we can re-ring it, slam it back in, send you on your way, or go further.
Yeah, I was wondering the time difference of going further.
The timing is going to be pretty much about the same, because when I drop this, we're going to measure everything. We're going to put new bearings in the whole thing. Obviously, I'm not going to drop the crank and just reuse the bearings. It's just not the right thing to do,
Right, especially after.
Yeah, especially after how much abuse this car's been through its life. I don't trust anything on it. I'm sure when I pull the bearings, they'll look fine. I'm sure they'll measure fine, but I would just be more comfortable putting. Right. It's like $160 for bearings. Let's just put them in. So everything will get done. It's your choice at that point if you want to put. I would like to put new pistons in, OEM pistons. If we do this either way, I'm not comfortable with just re-ringing the one. I'm sure the rest of the rings are on their way out. I would rather just put a set of OEM 4 pistons that are on those rods, slam it back together, and call it a day. Time frame wise, the pistons are about, I think they said 3 weeks for Volkswagen for me from Germany. So you got that time, and then for me to put it back together, I'll need about a week to do the full rebuild. They still got to get the block out, which now it's going to be fun for me to get the block because I'm going to have to grab onto.
Right.
So I'm going to have to grab my crane underneath, drop the whole package, and then separate it on the ground. So block will have to be stripped, all that fun stuff clean, and then
Can we do aftermarket rods and stuff?
that's your choice. So we can do like a set of CP Perillo pistons and rods, and you'll be good for about 700-800 horsepower. So if you wanted more power, you could throw some more.
What would be the drawbacks of OEM? Nothing.
Nothing.
Just
No.
money.
The thing is, I don't use jump parts on these bigger builds. They end up driving like an OEM car.
Okay.
I don't use JD forged pistons for that reason. They have a larger piston to wall clearance, which is what you'll hear a lot of on cold startups on those cars with forged pistons. You'll hear a lot of knock.
Right.
That's that piston slapping. Until it warms up and expands a little bit, it's got a pretty big clearance. OEM pistons don't do that, like Mollies and CPs. It's why a little more expensive. JE makes them out of better material, don't get me wrong, but for your application, it's not necessary. We don't need to use their super special top secret S29 or whatever material that they use. We can use the regular CP makeup, and they're great pistons. I run them in all the cars, never had issues. So. And Porsche uses them as a factory piston. So if that's good enough for them, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something you could definitely do. Piston pricing, it's the same for a set of customs as it is for OEMs, and the lead time's going to be about the same. Custom pistons are usually about 3-4 weeks. As with rods, if we just get them from the same company, they'll just build a set for us and send it to us. But that's all you really need to do to this engine to just make a bunch of power. As far as the head goes, we put in obviously either the APR or the IE valve springs, or variant valve springs. Those are the three options for this engine. You can do any one of the three. I do not recommend going +1 on the valves, going with bigger valves. It's just not necessary. You do the stock valves. I'm saying we just put the intake side in. The exhaust side it seems to be okay, except for this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send this to the machine shop, and they'll check it, see if there's any microfractures in it. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, then I recommend we do all the valves.
Okay.
Likely it'll be good. This looks like it's just it detonated a few times, but it doesn't look like it's too terrible. I don't foresee any micro fissures, but I have to check it because I'm not putting it back together without doing that.
No, 100% agree with you.
So, valve train wise, you can stick with stock and use valve springs, or you can just do the Feria valve train kit with their stainless valves, intake and exhaust side, valve springs, retainers, all that fun stuff. I think it's $1,000 per part. It's not terribly expensive in the long run. With OEM, you're going to have about $600 in the valve springs themselves, and then each valve I think is like $28. So it adds up quick. So if we do find that one's bad, I just recommend just doing the valve train kit. Also, that kit will allow you to rev this motor a lot higher. That kit's good. I think it's rated for like 9,000 RPM. I don't know the limits of this engine to Gen 3. People haven't spun them that fast yet, so we'll be able to find out that way.
Yeah, I was like, why did you not at least do valve springs? And he's like blaming it on the owner. I'm like, the owner had unlimited money to give you.
Yeah, obviously the guy did
See all the
everything.
shit on that car?
Dude, that list that's sitting in that passenger seat, I went through the whole freaking thing. I'm like, this guy just said, here's my car, do what you want with it. And they did what they want. They did what made them the most money, is what they did. Because like the valve spring job, you don't make much on because it's so labor intensive. I mean, you got to strip the whole engine out, put it back together, and then there's a lot of liability with that. That if something happens during assembly, it's on us. So it's like, I know why they don't do it, but it's not right. It doesn't make it right.
Well, I'm like, why would you not do valve springs when the dude obviously wanted to go stage 3?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, on APR's website, they recommend a built motor. I'm like, why would you buy a fucking car with 10,000 miles on it and not want to blow up the original motor before you put a fucking built motor in? And I said that, and he just like, bump up like dot.
Always had something.
Like,
fuck all that.
why would you even make a comeback like that? I don't really blame that original owner because he's not that bright.
He, like when I looked at the list, you can tell which things are like. I've been doing this a long time, and I can always see like, okay, what did the shop sell them, and what did the owner want? There's always there's definitely a fine line between the two. head start.
And then I asked him, did you leak down test the motor before you even touched it? And he's like, well, with 10,000 miles. And I'm like, dude, a dude is giving you $20,000 to spend on a car. Like,
I mean, because the thing is, like, even at 10,000 miles, those cars stock had issues. They have warranty problems. You know, cars have warranty issues all the time. You need to make sure you don't have one of those cars before you go stage 3. You know, it doesn't matter. I just did 7,000 miles on it. It got a leak down test. It doesn't matter. If it has a valve spring issue already, and then you're going to throw fucking 250 horsepower at it.
right. And not do valve springs. Valve springs to handle 300 horsepower.
Yeah.
1 hour later.
So just got done at the tuners. Not the best news, but that engine was gonna get built later. It's just getting built sooner rather than later. I was hoping to at least make it through the summer on the power level it's at, but going more power. Comment down below what you think my new whip is. You're not going to be seeing much of this Charger anymore. It is for sale. Just if you don't know anything about this car, I had a channel on it. It's just a 2013 Police Interceptor Undercover Edition. So it's the RT engine train, but suspension is police. Best suspension in my opinion. Police brakes, police intercooling system. It runs a bit hotter than a normal Charger RT, but it handles 1,000 times better. And you get the 3.06 gears in it. So this is a fun car. Again, I never had any issues with this car. People are always asking why I'm moving on from it. I just want something different. I want something much nimbler, more power and all-wheel drive since I live in Pittsburgh. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the new car. I will explain the new car when it's done and revealed. So yeah, leave a guess. Going to train chest now. It's going to be more strength focused. Again, this is day 1 of the cycle, so I am going to switch into more muscle growth hypertrophy training as the drugs hit later, because it's day 1. Even though the injectable Sarms active in the system, I'm going to wait a little bit to switch my training. I'm still training like I'm in the cruise. But pre-workout wise, I'm going with enhanced high stim. This has mushrooms in it, and it personally feels like I'm wigged out on mushrooms. That is the stimulant feeling. It's much different than DMHA or 1,3-dimethylamine like you would think. Do I like it better than Gorilla Mode? If I was powerlifting, I would like this pre-workout better than Gorilla Mode. As far as pump goes, I'm still going with Gorilla Mode. I think Gorilla Mode's a more turnkey, complete package. But for every once in a while, this pre-workout hits fucking hard. I'm only taking 1 scoop. On the label, it says you can take up to 2 scoops. I have taken 2 scoops. It's too much stim for me, so if you are a stim freak, I would consider myself a stim freak. Give 2 scoops a try. It's wild. If you're like me and can handle normal amounts of stimulants, you get a lot of servings based on the 1 scoop factor. So I'm taking this for focusing. The mushrooms are insane. Gives me, I don't know if you guys have taken psychedelic mushrooms before. I'm sure not all of you have, but it's kind of like that Adderall in the back of your head mushroom focus. That's kind of the feeling. And then that is for focusing. Also adding in beet powder. So red beet powder, doesn't matter. I picked the flavored one at Walmart called Power Beats. So this is a nitric oxide booster, which is going to vasodilate my blood vessels to expand blood flow. So basically using this for pump as well as vitamin C intake, because the seasons are changing and I'm fighting a sinus infection already. So 1 scoop of the Enhanced Rage high stim, followed up by 2 scoops of beet powder. The Bloat Lord is checking in. Finally starting the Injectable Sarm Hybrid Cycle Blast featuring the main androgen Injectable LGD 4033. cycle finally came in together, and my personal life is finally somewhat evened out to where I can start this video series. I'm gonna start it now because need to get my mental health back on track and need to get back into the love of my work and document this cycle because it's pretty important for me. This is my last bulking cycle before I'm gonna decide to do a contest prep. So definitely need to have all the variables in check, and I'm going to keep you guys posted on what the cycle currently is because I am going to be amping it up as the cycle continues. Currently, it's a test base of around 300 to 350 a week. I added in MK677 as my cruise was ending, entering the blast before my blast started. So I already have that MK677 bloat starting to accumulate. Reason why I add the MK677 early is because my personal life went to shit, so I started going really hard in the gym and just could not recover. So I added that in early. But this is day 2 of the Injectable LGD. Can't talk dosages specifically on here. Talk to me directly on Instagram at Russo Lifts. This is a family-friendly YouTube channel, so I can only talk about certain things. But that's the main key components of the cycle. 677 as the GH pathway, Injectable LGD as the main androgen, which we are going to compare it to a typical bulk blast, a traditional gear cycle, so you guys can, see my results and kind of like apply it to your genetics and see my side effects as well compared to a traditional gear blast. And then testosterone is slightly above TRT base, which TRT, bodybuilder TRT, I'm saying is 250 milligrams a week. So slightly bumped up, but it's not in the blasting dosages of 500 because I would wreck my skin more than it already is. So let's go into the side effects already right off the bat. First off, this Injectable LGD, whether you think I'm bullshitting or not, is strong as shit. And it kicked in immediately. So I have posing footage of day 1 of Injectable LGD, which I want to show you my fullness. I'm not nearly as full as the posing footage of day 2, which all this footage that I did with Andrew was shot on day 2, meaning it was loaded in my system because the half-life of injectables is so short. Basically, day 2, it's blasting. It's not like injectable gear where it's estered and the ester needs to build up. No, it's like right off the bat kicking in. So right off the bat, I can say the side effects are pretty much the same as oral LGD 4033 if you have experience with it. So muscle cramping, being like you can push your muscles, like the amount of volume you can utilize goes way through the roof to a point where you can push your muscles beyond fatigue and cramp them. After this chest session, my triceps were locking up because I pushed them to the max as far as volume is concerned and water retention. So the bloat lord is back, baby. Every single time I utilize LGD 4033. If you guys are OG subscribers and have been following me for years, the bloat lord shows up. For some reason, D-ball face, moon face, this happens to me especially with LGD 4033. So you're going to see my face explode into the moon face. It already basically has at this point. And then when I'm combining it with 677 and the water weight holder from that, it's bloat lord time, baby. It's time to get after the gains and stop worrying about my jawline. It's going to be completely obliterated. I'm going to look like the Pillsbury Doughboy, but that's to be expected. MK677 is requiring more hydration, as well as already watching insulin sensitivity. My insulin sensitivity is still very good, but I am going to be monitoring blood glucose levels because that could absolutely ruin my cycle and cause me to gain all fat, no muscle. So that's right off the bat the side effects I noticed so far. What do I expect from the cycle? Personally, I think my look is going to get worse over time. I'm going to get a more quote-unquote natty look just from the amount of water retention I'm holding. I'm going to be utilizing diuretics such as dandelion leaf during this cycle to try and minimize the water weight. But with LGD, personally, for me and how I react, as well as 677, as well as a fuck ton of food, with sodium content fluctuating, I'm going to try and keep it consistent. I'm already burping from how much food I've been eating from this cycle because I have to keep up calorically with my insane metabolism to even make the cycle worth the health risk. So, yeah, I'm going to be bloated. So my muscle insertions all going to be covered by water, and it's not going to look pretty. My strength is going to go through the roof. The amount of volume I'm going to be able to do is going to go through the roof. And the amount of tissue I build under this water will probably be pretty fucking significant, especially when I add in the more exotic other key components of the cycle, which I talked about in the first episode. Later in the cycle, after I get adjusted to the higher androgen level and blasting again, because it's been a while since I've blasted really anything besides that little YK11 experiment where I only got too frisky with it, you know, for like a week or two. Like, this is more like I'm actually trying to fix my chest to compete. My chest needs major work if you guys have been following me. And then fix my arms and, you know, just get the amount of mass I need. And then, you know, shape it, accumulate it at a much lighter weight after this so I can compete. This is the last big bulking cycle for me. The last time I'm really going to chase weight. Goal weight to hit is 245 pounds based on I'm already weighing 235 watery, which I step on a scale. So I'm walking around 235-ish during the day currently, waking up around 230, 229. So that is my starting point. My height is 5'11 and a half, in case you're wondering or new to the channel. So the goal will be 245, 250, which is going to be with the water weight included, meaning I'm going to be holding roughly around 6 to 7 pounds of just water in general, which I will have to lose. But the water comes with the LGD, the sodium mineral retention from all the food I'm eating, as well as the 677 having elevated GH levels all the time. Again, insulin sensitivity is going to be extremely critical to monitor for this cycle to work correctly, and me not just to get fucking fat, which I'm not going to do. So this is the posing footage. This was yesterday, or day one, not yesterday. I've been like trying to get this video out for you guys, having a lot of issues with my parents, but this video is finally fucking done, so I'm hyped to finally release this. So this was day 2 of Injectable LGD when it's saturated. So full LGD look, moon face is coming in nicely, bloat lord is showing up ready to gain weight, and yeah, the insane full look. This is on Andrew's lens, so this lens is more accurate to how your eye would perceive me in person. My lens makes me look small. It's a wide angle lens for, you know, I don't have time to frame shots. I just kind of just have a nice big wide angle lens on a full frame camera, and then I punch in 4K later. He's shooting on a prime that is 55, which is exactly how your eye would see me. So this is basically how I would look pumped up in person in a posing room. And then I do have my lens to show you of the first day where the LGD look didn't happen yet. So this is kind of cool to see just how rapidly that water weight and muscle fullness was gained, as well as that nitrogen retention was gained. So this is the day 1 where I bumped up the test, took in the LGD, and my MK677 was already peaking at a high dose, so that water weight was already gained. So yeah, that is the fullness difference between day 1 and day 2 of Injectable LGD. It's no joke, and I will be pushing the dosage further, and I will be changing out normal Injectable LGD 43 for Injectable Nano LGD 4033, which, because of my personal life, I haven't had time to make that video yet, but that video will be coming to the channel where I talk about the possible benefits of nanotechnology with Sarms and just any PED in general. So that's what I look like before the LGD started accumulating. As you can see, I have a lot more muscle separation, and I'm overall just way less full. And this lens, like I said, makes me look smaller. It's not relevant to how your eye would perceive me like Andrew's lens is. Andrew's lens makes the bloat lord come alive. So I appreciate everyone who's been following me and has been supporting me through these times. This is my last time trying to do this voiceover. This is like my 13th time in this house trying to do this voiceover. So I'll see you guys on my next one.